I have two speakers, neither of whom are predictable. Dr. Angad Chowdhry is my co-founder. It is impossible to guarantee what he will say when he comes on stage. Accompanying him is one of our advisors, an old friend, Maria Garrido from Deezer. I think of us as Maria Deezer, clearly. Maria is a million watts of fun. And I've warned them about how to present what they're going to present, but they will talk about what they will talk about. The idea is that this conversation is about community and fans, what makes people be loyal to an artist, a concept, a food group, a brand, a movement. And so with that, Maria and Angad, please come on stage.
Should we be tap dancing in? Good morning, everyone. When I was 13 years old, I fell madly in love with a boy named Joey. Joey was not a boy at my school, nor was he a boy who lived on my street. So my biggest challenge was, how was I going to get this kid to notice me? Joey was actually a boy who was part of a band called New Kids on the Block. And I was a humongous fan. So much so that I saved my babysitting money for a year, camped out all night in front of a Ticketmaster office, way before there was online ticket buying, so I could get tickets to the front row of their next concert in Chicago. And it was the greatest experience of my young teen life. Many of you, if you think back, have a memory like this. If you don't, you might have a K-pop obsessed teen at home. If you're not a music fan, maybe you're a sports fan, still following your college football team, still rooting for your hometown baseball team, there loyally at every game, even if it takes them over a century to win the World Series. If you don't follow sports, if you're not a music fan, maybe you're a Comic-Con fan. Or maybe, even if you don't want to admit it, you might be following some of these people on social media. The truth is, fans are a fascinating breed. And as the CMO of Deezer, fans are my bread and butter. Now, for those of you who don't know who Deezer is, we are a digital streaming platform that is born in France and distributed in over 180 countries. And we are there to help people be and belong through music. Be is about expressing yourself. Music helps people express themselves, as do experiences. And belong is about community and driving connections between fans and their favorite artists, between artists and their fans, and with our partners. Because fans are our bread and butter, it's in our deepest interest to make sure that we understand who the fan is, to drive loyalty, and to drive engagement with fans. And to do this, we need to understand who they are as people. So fans are really devotees, people who are fascinated and passionate about the performing arts, about a sport, about a musician, and about an experience. They're admirers of celebrities, even science fiction, as we said with Comic-Con. They're passionate about their interests, and we know what they do. They spend a lot of time focusing on this interest. They spend time watching it. They spend money buying things related to their particular hobby or interest in fandom. They share content from other artists. They share their love and passion for this particular thing that they're fans about. But we don't understand why. So getting to the why, we needed Quilt's help. And that's where we turned to Angad and his team.
Thanks, Maria. So I don't know why I was told I was unpredictable, but I'm trying to stay on script here. The challenge Maria and her team presented us was quite tricky. How do you understand the motivations of fans, what drives us when we self-represent as fans, and so on and so forth? It might seem like a self-evident question, and we'll get into the technology of how we answer this question later on in the session. But the problem is a fan is not a user type, a fan is not in a geography, or even a psychological segment. A fan is a type of fire that burns in all of us to different degrees. So for this, we had to cast a pretty wide net, because you can't say, oh, everyone posting about Deezer or everyone who lives in a particular location. and we found about 50 unique data sources across social, blogs, search, etc. We also found 95 distinctive platforms that all had a fan proposition, not only in music, but in art, in pornography, and so on. In addition to that, we had about 100 million unique fan searches and all manner of engagement and popularity metrics that were associated with those. So I think the TLDR, it was a very big data set. Now, what do you do with a big data set like that? Because underneath all of that, we have to find that fire. There is a need, there is a desire, there is a concern, and all of these have to be extracted using fairly advanced natural language processing models, inference models, image models, and even video models. And they have to all then be put together in some type of grouping. So what we have here is a grouping, because ultimately when you write a deck, you can't just have 10,000 slides. You need to have one pretty one that organizes the information all together. And you can see that there are some interesting things happening here. We have removed the numbers and the details from this because it was a bit messy. But we plotted it on two axes, individualistic and collective, on a 2x2 chart, so we could understand the core drivers. When we think of fans instinctively, when we all think of fans as instinctively, we do not think of solo individualistic people. Our instinctive attitudes or chains of associations in our minds about fans is, oh, they're a part of groups, they're a part of communities, there's a collective dimension to this. So what was really startling, of all those hundreds of thousands of data points, a large number of them were in an individualistic, self-reflective sector. A lot of anthropological theory and even basic cultural theory indexes on the idea of the community and belonging as being as the core definition of being a fan, and not that self-image, narcissism is a key component of it as well. And that's what was really, really interesting, because everything was distributed towards the individualistic axes. And of course, there's an up and down, functional and emotional, etc. Now, Maria and her team decided to showcase a few of the fastest growing ones. And what we'll do is we'll give you a quick summary of a few of them and then show you how all of this information and data was activated by her team. I'll do a quick summary of 3 of them, one at a time, and then Maria will walk you through how it became real and what impact it had. So this was one type of fan, so it was in the collectivist space. This group thrives on being recognized for being competitive and victorious in competitiveness, and whether it's collection or anything else. They follow almost like a hero's journey of confronting and overcoming challenges and subsequently being celebrated for this. And this is how Maria's team worked with this cluster.
Okay, so what's important about this particular cluster is that it's not just about the competition, but it's about showing off that I won or that I was rewarded. So one of the things that we do is we work a lot with contests. Can any of you guess, after the United States, what is the biggest hip-hop music market in the world? Nope. Hip-hop, huh? No, you're all wrong. It's France. We have a very big one. The biggest artist on our platform in France is a guy called Jewel. So we ran a competition on our platform for Jewel, a pre-release party where people got to see him perform his album before it actually came out. This drove 75% participation on our platform of people trying to win the contest. When we ran a Swiftie treasure hunt through our entire application with different Easter eggs planted everywhere so people could get VIP passes and get to go to her global concert tour, 2 times more likely to share their results outside of our product on their social media channels than any other activation we did. And yes, I know that's a bit of a Swiftie effect, but nevertheless, when we give people a chance to compete, and we tack on the possibility of showing off their reward, there's massive engagement from our audiences and music streaming platforms.
So this is the next and fairly small group, but growing extremely fast. And they need exclusive, high-quality experiences that are not widely available. So think of them as people who want to be recognized, of course, but also being separated from the rest of the people at that event.
Okay, so on this one, as we said, it's small, but it's blowing up. This is a really important need that we see with fans. Many of you have heard that Madonna did a concert on the Copacabana beach with over 1 million people participating on the beach. We gave only 130 people who are Deezer users the opportunity to get VIP passes, to be in the front row seats of that competition and that concert, which is really a sense of exclusivity that only they got rewarded with and not anybody else. We also know that globally speaking, for Deezer, for Spotify, Apple Music, or anyone else, 95% of global fans want to join programs that give them special perks. This doesn't just apply within music platforms, but it applies to other industries that provide entertainment bundles and loyalty programs to their customers. But I'll let one of the fans tell you what he thinks about his opportunity. Oops, that didn't work. Oops.
So he's really excited about meeting Madonna.
Yes, we can do the, we can tell you. I don't think it works. Does it not work? Okay, basically he's a super fan and he was so excited because he's been waiting his whole life to see Madonna in Brazil. That's it. And I won't do it in Portuguese for you. I'll save you the pain of it.
This is another interesting cluster because they are a little more community-centric, and their identity markers are familiar to all of us. They want to demonstrate a personal collection to their idols and what this personal collection really tells them about themselves. And there are two in this group. The one is like a pride and affiliation grouping, which is I am who I love. And the second is a proximity grouping, which is like a moth to a flame, my proximity to this person is really what enhances my fan aura. And I think Maria and team did some very exciting stuff here as well.
So belonging is to a fandom, or being a fan, is extension of the self, of who I am as a person. And a lot of people are proud to be fans of whatever interest, music, sport, or celebrity that they're into. They also say it's part of who they are. Once a year, I think many of you are probably on Spotify or Apple Music, you have Apple Music Replay, you have Spotify Wrapped. For us, it's My Deezer Year. It's probably the biggest, if not one of the biggest moments of the year for fans of digital streaming, because they get their annual recap, which is sort of a reflection of their identity when it comes to their musical taste. And lots of people spend that time sharing it on their social media platforms to their friends and family and to their followers, because it is a way of expressing who they are and being who they are through their music tastes. The second example we wanted to share with you is about we're close. People love to be able to show that they aren't just in the front row at a concert, but that they had a direct connection with the artist. A month and a half ago, we held an event in Paris where Billie Eilish came. We invited 40 of her fans to actually sit down in the room with her, get to ask her all of the questions that they wanted. Obviously, everything was pre-screened. And we even put their love letters, which they wrote in advance, up on digital billboards all over the city, so they got to show off their fandom with Billie Eilish. This idea of exclusivity and direct connection to the idol of their fandom is something that fans really need, because again, it's a way to express themselves, not just about connection. So, if we wrap up our bit for you today, there are 3 lessons that we walked away with from this analysis of understanding fan needs and behaviors. The first is, there's no real one way to be a fan. Fandom is fluid, it's nuanced, it's multifaceted. Nobody falls into one of these 30 buckets. They kind of taste a bit of each of these areas. The second is, it's all about me.
So here, okay, I'm going to go off script now, right? So here what happened was that we all speak about
Wait.
So we all speak about, a bias in AI, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But what people don't understand is that the models have a certain proclivity or inclination where they've learned from various things, and therefore when information passes into the model, a certain output happens. When you're feeding all of these models real-world data, when you're feeding it data about fans, et cetera, you will always see weird results. And one of the things we saw here was because the biases of all the training data on anthropological literature, sociological literature, et cetera, was all about, oh, fans are about communities, fans are about belonging, et cetera, so much of the information did not fit. And all of the models had to be redone. So in many ways, every time you're feeding real-world data into the model, it's not fitting, and then the bias is being auto-corrected because it's not working. So bias is actually a good sign that you have to improve things, and that's what journey I think we're all doing together. So yeah, and the punchline is fans are narcissists.
And the last point is you are who you love. It's really about affiliation, which is the biggest and fastest growing need. And it is an opportunity for people to be and belong, to connect and express themselves through their fandom. But I'll let the fan tell you for themselves. Video, please work. Because I can't do Lenny Kravitz.
Hi, it's Lenny Kravitz, and I'm here with Deezer and super fans in my rehearsal front row. XP.
In my body I'm 51, but in my head today I'm 15.
I'm beyond excited. This was amazing. Never in my life would I have expected Lenny Kravitz to throw a microphone at me, have me sing for him. I have no words. It was really amazing. Such a fantastic experience that Deezer made possible for us. It's great.
Thank you.